In this section, I'm going to look at the HTML description. Now, in the previous chapter, we looked at the title, and as I said, the title is very important from an SEO point of view. The description doesn't really affect your SEO as such, but it's very important for the click-through rate. Now, as we've previously seen, the description, or the meta description as it's sometimes called, is displayed within the head section of each web page. So each page should have a unique description that relates particularly to that individual page. So if you go and check out the syntax, it looks something like this. It starts with meta name, then it says equals description, then content, then you've got where it says your description. That is the description as displayed on your particular page. You don't really need to know this, it's just if you want to go and directly look at your code, it'll look something like this. So as I say, the description is very important for the click-through rate. The way I like to think about it, a really good title will help to get you onto the first page, and a really good description will help you to get clicked on, because remember, if you do actually get onto the first page, you're just one of 10 snippets there. So you want a really sort of brilliant description that will get people's attention, and they'll click on your description rather than anybody else's. Now, as with the title, Google may ignore your description. If your description is basically an exact match to the contents of that particular page, remember each page has its own description in the head area. If it's a really good match, then chances are Google will use it. But as with your titles, if you have a bad description that doesn't really describe what's on that page, or sometimes websites have exactly the same description for every single page, then in that case Google will ignore the description, just make one up really that relates to what was searched for by the users. So if you have a very bad description, Google will just make one up. If you want to see the descriptions as they appear for your particular website, what you can do is you can type in the word site : followed by your URL. So in this example at the bottom here, if you typed in site : www.4seotraining.com.au, if you did that search, you'd see the titles and descriptions displayed within Google. So here I am, I've typed in site : followed by the website URL, and as you can see, there's the title, underneath I've got the descriptions here. So I've got a description there for that page and this page and so on and so forth. And as you can see, each page is slightly different, because the whole point is you want different descriptions on different pages. So remember, if you're talking about a snippet, if you look at this example here, that entire thing there is a snippet. You normally have the title, the URL, and then you have the description. And then if you go to the trouble of organizing some what are called rich snippets, more on those later. In my case, as you can see, you've got reviews showing up in the actual results. So as I said, the key thing is unique descriptions on every page, and that description should basically be a close match to the contents of every single page. As far as the description length is concerned, as we saw with titles, they were generally limited to actually displaying about 64 characters. Google have been playing around the lengths over the last year or so, so it used to be quite short, and you might find it can be anything between, say, 230 or 320 characters thereabouts. As I said, that's sort of something that Google have been experimenting with, so you might want to create a longer description on the grounds that Google might use it. If they don't, they'll just simply truncate it, so they'll just see the first number of characters that Google decides it's going to display that month. As I say, it does change sort of on a fairly regular basis. So description and page content, they have to match, remember that.